You want your ex back, but you're afraid to risk looking desperate and pathetic. Well, some people will tell you to put your pride aside and just go for it. That it's worth looking stupid if you could possibly get the love of your life back. But I'm here to tell you that that's actually the wrong approach. You need to avoid looking desperate if you do want your ex back. Because if they get the sense that you truly want them back and would do anything to get a second chance, that's going to scare them off for a few reasons. First, it puts a lot of pressure on them. So if they're unsure at all about the prospect of giving things another chance, and let's face it, they definitely are unsure right now, then this is going to tip the scales in the wrong direction. They think that the next time they speak to you, you're going to press them for an answer, so they'll want to avoid you at all costs. So in this case, an ex who may have been convinced to try again under different circumstances is now on their guard anytime you try to talk to them. And second, it makes you seem like you don't have other options. And while you may think it's sweet that you want them and only them, it can also look like you really don't have any choice. And if your ex thinks that you're not attractive to anyone else out there, they're going to wonder why. And that's going to make them focus on all of your worst qualities. And pretty soon they'll ask themselves, why do I want somebody who nobody else wants? And at that moment, your chances with them are going to go up in smoke. So in this video, I'll explain to you how to avoid coming across as desperate while you do try to get your ex back. It's a subtle method, but one that really works to maintain your status and your composure. I, of course, am Brad Browning, author of The X Factor. And I've helped tens of thousands of people around the globe get the second chance they're looking for, and I can help you as well. Just start by liking this video and subscribing to my channel so I can keep making more free videos like this one. But now, let's get into how you can avoid looking desperate while you get your ex back. So number one is to focus on yourself. So when you are trying to get your ex back, you're putting your focus in the obvious place, your ex. But the more you focus on your ex in this situation, the more difficult it becomes. When you make your ex your sole focus, you put pressure on yourself to do everything right, and that creates stress which your ex can smell from a mile away. And at the same time, if you're focusing intensely on your ex, you're going to be doing everything you can to please them, which, as I'll explain later, is a terrible approach. And on top of putting pressure on yourself, you're also putting pressure on your ex to get back with you, which is only going to scare him or her off. Now, this is really a catch-22. How can you get your ex back without putting your focus on them? Well, you can actually break this cycle by focusing on yourself and end up with a better result. So allow yourself to be a little bit selfish in this situation. Think of what you want rather than what your ex wants. So for example, you should stick to things that improve your life, like your hobbies, your social life, work, or school. A breakup can really destabilize your life and promote negative habits. Maybe you've been eating poorly, isolating yourself, or drinking too much. But now is the time to take back your life and create some structure. Really do anything and everything that you can think of to make yourself a happier, more stable person. Because in the long run, this is going to make it easier to get your ex back because it'll put you into a better headspace. Right now, going for a run or calling a friend will actually do more to get your ex back than sitting around crafting the perfect text to send them. Now, this is how you avoid desperation, by focusing on your own well-being instead of on your ex. Remember, you want your ex back because it would make you happy. So making yourself happy is really your true priority here. So act accordingly. Now, number two is to not get into deep conversations. Really, talking to your ex at this stage is a potential minefield. In fact, I'll talk more later about why you should wait a period of time after the breakup before you talk to your ex at all. But if you have already waited, then you might be tempted to dive in headfirst and put all your cards on the table. Now, here are some of the things you probably want to talk about. Why the breakup happened, how much you missed them, what you did wrong and how you can make it up to them, and why they should give you another chance. But in reality, you need to avoid conversations like this at all costs. Remember, you're trying to avoid looking desperate here. So if you start in on any of these conversations, no matter how well you handle it, your ex is going to see instantly that you're basically begging for a second chance. There's no real reason to have conversations like this otherwise. In fact, the better you think these things out and plan them, the worse it's going to look. You're going to come across as unnatural and rehearsed because you are, right? And that will tell your ex that you've spent many sleepless nights coming up with the perfect thing to say to get their attention. Now let's move on to number three, which is to own your feelings. Now, many people think that the way to avoid looking desperate is to bury their feelings deep down and pretend that they don't exist at all. But the truth is, this is not going to work in your situation. Your ex knows you pretty well, and if you've been bottling up these feelings, they're probably going to sense it. And letting your ex see how you're feeling, even indirectly, is a big mistake. So instead, acknowledge these feelings to yourself or even to a trusted friend or family member. Tell them what you're feeling, how much you want your ex back, how lonely you are. Take time to process these feelings rather than actually running from them. You'll be shocked at how much of a difference this can really make. Naming and sharing these feelings is going to make them a lot more manageable. Now, don't overdo this, so you might annoy your friends, but also, don't bottle up your feelings either. This is what friends are for, really. The key is that you just keep this to yourself and one or two trusted people in your life, and avoid letting your ex see any kind of emotion or heartache. And number 4, play it cool. So when you are thinking about sending that text to your ex, posting on social media, talking to mutual friends, just wait. If you're watching this video, it's a pretty safe bet that you're not in a great place emotionally. And pain like this is going to put you in a very, twitchy, reactive headspace. You want your ex back, and you want them now. So instead of thinking things out and going at your own pace, you're probably rushing ahead to the next step. But really, there's no rushing this process. And if you're coming at your ex with this kind of energy, you're going to look desperate. So instead, slow down, take a breath, and think things out. If you can remember to do this every step of the way, you're going to project a more calm, collected energy, which is going to be a lot more attractive to your ex. And furthermore, being calm and collected signals to your ex that you're not worried about how things will pan out. You have other romantic options that you can pursue anytime you want. This is an important mindset, and it's something that's going to inject urgency into the situation for your ex, making them worry that you're not going to be around for long if they, don't soon change their mind about the breakup. Which brings us to number 5, no contact. Now, if you've seen any of my videos, you've heard me talk about no contact, so I won't go deep into it here. In fact, I'll link a more comprehensive video in the description in the pop-up here. But basically, it just means spending approximately 30 days following the breakup without any contact with your ex. So radio silence, no messages, no calls, no in-person meetups. There's a whole lot of benefits here, but since we're already talking about, it's really a very effective way to shed some of the desperation that you're carrying around after the breakup. I mean, think about it. If you call your ex 3 days after they dumped you, they're gonna see how much you want them and miss them, and no matter what you say, it's not gonna matter. You could say, I hate you and I never wanna see you again, and it's still gonna come across as desperate. Whereas on the other hand, if you steer clear of them, if you don't respond to their messages, you don't like their photos on social media, it's gonna look like you're moving on with your life. This is the exact kind of thing that you're trying to project here. And when you do pop back into their DMs after 30 days or so, your ex is not going to be nearly as suspicious of your motives the way they would on day 3 or 5 or whatever. And number 6 is don't over-text. So if your period of no contact is over and you're into what I call the rekindling phase, where you're starting to talk to your ex again, you need to tread very carefully. It's really easy to overextend yourself and show your ex how much you want them right off the bat. So one of the ways we do this is by over-texting. Your ex sends you a message saying, how are you? And then you reply with multiple paragraphs about your life when they were really just being polite. They don't answer a message right away, and you follow up with another and then another with a good 10 minutes in between. And really, this is the most desperate thing you can do when talking to an ex, short of showing up uninvited with a bouquet of roses. Remember, your ex is going to be on alert when talking to you. They're looking for a reason to run away, and by being too aggressive, you're giving it to them. So don't be afraid to leave them on read, to wait to return a text or leave them wanting more. Go ahead and click the pop-up in the corner here for my past video on the golden rules for texting your ex. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. I recommend you watch that next. And now on to number 7, which is don't be too available. So just like double texting or over texting, being too available to your ex can really be the kiss of death. So for example, if your ex asks, when you want to get together, rather than just saying whenever, give them a specific time and place. And if they cancel at the last minute, don't offer to reschedule. Basically, don't show them that you have nothing else going on, or worse, that you're willing to clear your schedule to make room for them. This kind of thing smacks of desperation. Now, you don't have to be standoffish or rude, but don't let them know that you're willing to do anything just to have coffee with them. Don't forget, you're doing this for a reason. You want them back. So if you come across as somebody without value or other options, they're going to question if they really want to give you another chance. It's just basic psychology. Now, if you really want to know what's going on in your ex's head right now and where you stand with them, then I recommend you take my free quiz over at breakupbrad.com/quiz. Just answer a few simple questions and find out what your ex is thinking and what chance you have of ever getting them back. In fact, the quiz even provides personalized recommendations about what you should do next in your specific situation. Again, you can take that for free after the video at breakupbrad.com/quiz. But now, number 8, date other people. Now, I know it feels impossible to give your attention to anyone else right now when you feel so close to reconnecting with your ex, but this can honestly help so much if you do want them back. If you make the effort to meet and connect with new people, it's going to completely transform your mindset when it comes to your ex. I know you have your heart set on this one person, and there's no need to change that, but dating other people will show you that there are other possibilities out there for you, that this isn't the only way forward in your life. And as I've already said, it's easy to get stuck in this all or nothing mindset with your ex. Like if you can't win with them, then your life is ruined and you have no chance at happiness. It'll help to pop that bubble to see that there are other equally interesting and attractive people out there besides your ex. Not only that, but dating is a skill, plain and simple. And dating other people will sharpen up your conversational skills and make you think about how you're presenting yourself to your ex. Remember that just because you and your ex were together in the past doesn't mean that you can skip past the dating phase again. You need to show your ex that you can still provide the kind of excitement that they felt when you first met. And number 9 is don't be overly nice. Now, believe it or not, being too nice can hurt you in so many aspects of your life, and getting your ex back is no different. So if you show your ex that they can walk all over you and you'll still come back for more, then they're going to lose respect for you real quick. So being overly nice to your ex, no matter how they're treating you, it really shows them that you lack self-respect and that you are, in fact, desperate. Don't get me wrong, there's no need to be mean to your ex, but also don't bend over backwards to make them happy. This includes things like bringing them gifts or flowers, complimenting them, and sleeping with them. It also includes, even just being a shoulder to cry on, providing them with love and affection. Remember, they chose to end the relationship. Unless they're willing to really treat you right, you shouldn't be acting like they're still the most important person in your life. That just about does it for this video. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, guys. If you've got any questions or comments, you want to share a story about how you got back with your ex in the past, please go ahead and leave them in the comments below. This is really going to help other people out who are struggling right now. And while you're here, of course, subscribe to my channel and check out some of my other videos in the sidebar as well. If you've got a question, chances are I've already made a video about it. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.